Welcome to The Story, presented by Grand River Raceway and the Canadian Sportsman magazine. In this edition of The Story, Giving Dan His Due. Charles Learson's new book, Crazy Good, The True Story of Dan Patch, the most famous horse in America, is a thorough and delightful tale about how Dan Patch became the first American sports superstar of the 20th century. Dan Patch was a model for the modern millionaire athlete. He was an endorsement machine with his name on everything from cigars and sleds to washing machines and breakfast cereal. He was a huge drawing card, and at his zenith, as many as 100,000 people attended the races to cheer him to victory. He possessed a talent that was decades ahead of his peers. He was also saddled with a cast of rubes and hucksters who sadly saw Dan Patch as more of a commodity than one of the greatest standardbreds that ever lived. Dan's stardom was so great that he made as much as $1 million a year in a time when baseball's highest paid star, Ty Cobb, earned just $12,000. For those who don't know a pacer from a popsicle, Crazy Good is an attention grabber. Apart from being perhaps the best harness racing book ever written, Learson's greatest success is in giving Dan Patch his proper due. Given a string of glowing reviews from the mainstream press, the author has justifiably returned Dan Patch to the public eye and has reminded us all that harness racing once ruled the sports-mad American landscape. Crazy Good, The True Story of Dan Patch is available at Grand River Raceway and wherever fine books are sold. That concludes this edition of The Story. You can find the full story in the latest edition of the Canadian Sportsman magazine. To subscribe, visit canadiansportsman.ca. Catch this edition of The Story and archived episodes online at grandriverraceway.com.